In today's double game week 25 team selection, we've got a lot to talk about, like what to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold, whether or not it's worth bringing in Mo Salah, and whether or not it's worth activating that triple captainship on Erling Haaland. Starting off today's video, we're going to take a look at how my team fared in game week 24, and to be honest, it wasn't a good game week for me. There was some standout performers, obviously Gabriel getting the goal and the clean sheet. Arsenal defence looking super good over the past 5 game weeks. They are up there and actually a #1 spot for XG conceded, so definitely a defence I'm very happy to hold. Maybe, as we'll come on to look at, doubling up on that Arsenal defence. I definitely think if you're looking for a defender this week and you don't have any Arsenal players, they could be a very strong area to invest in. I thought Trent Alexander-Arnold was going to be the one this week, got that early assist, but then obviously came off at half time. And now the injury, the kind of news around his injury is that he's not going to be back till after the Carabao Cup final. Absolutely devastating stuff for me as a Trent Alexander-Arnold owner. I've owned him for a good few game weeks now, and I think I've got 6 points out of him over that period of time. 4 coming in game week 24 as well. So as you can tell, my time as a Trent Alexander-Arnold owner has been disastrous. My 2 transfers in for this week were Doherty and Foden. Neither paid off, but I still think in the long term, both of these moves were definitely worth the -4, especially the form that Phil Foden showed for Manchester City, obviously getting a goal last night in Copenhagen. He's looking really good. Obviously did play a large proportion of that game, but with the injuries sustained to Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish, I definitely think Foden is going to start at the weekend, as is De Bruyne as well, with the form that he's definitely cooking in. As you can see, some other decisions definitely went my way. Palmer with 2 assists right at the death of their game on Monday night really helped me out. And then obviously Haaland captain as well, 26 points for him, was rewarded with just kind of keeping it plain, as I said in my deadline stream, just keeping it plain, going for a very simple tactic, going with the most popular pick. It did work out, and Haaland cooked in that week. We've had some disastrous game weeks over the past couple games. Obviously, we fell from about 180,000 rank all the way down to 441,000, but hopefully we can start to resume that. Saka's been the big killer for me over the past few weeks, but I do think we can regain some of that rank this week with playing some of our chips. Wasting no time and diving straight into the team selection, we are going to start with our goalkeeper. We've gone with Areola. He's our only real choice. We do have Turner on the bench as our alternative. Like I said, I don't really like wasting transfers on goalkeepers, especially the ones with doubles this week. I don't think they're necessarily overly impressive, and I don't really have another way to get a City defender in there. Maybe Alisson, but I just don't think he's going to justify the price over this double, and then leaves me with a blank in game week 26. So we're going to stick with Areola. West Ham haven't been in good form, and have been conceding goals for fun. No wins in their past 7 games. It does look like David Moyes potentially could be on his way out of the club with another poor result this weekend, but we'll have to wait and see. We might get a new manager bounce. The thing I do like about West Ham and Areola is they do have a game in game week 29, so I definitely think he's a goalkeeper worth holding for me. I've got very limited players for that game week so far, and at least I do have a playing goalkeeper for that week, so I'm very happy just to keep and hold Areola. Like I said, I don't personally believe in wasting free transfers on goalkeepers. Moving into the back line, we are going to go with Gabriel. Like I said in the last section, Arsenal are top for XG conceded over the past 5 game weeks. Over the season as well, I think they're second just behind Manchester City, so a very good defence to go and invest in. Like I said, if I didn't have an Arsenal defender and I was looking for a Trent replacement, I think Gabriel and Saliba would probably be my top 2 targets. Moving into the next defender, it's going to be Matt Doherty. Obviously brought him in last week, 1 point from him, but he did create 9 chances in open play, takes corners as well. I definitely think during this run that I'm going to own him up until potentially maybe game week 29, game week 30, obviously if Luton get that double in game week 29, I do think he is going to pick up some mega scores for me. Hopefully you can continue the attacking returns. This week I don't think he's probably going to come away with too much. Manchester United and Liverpool is a difficult double, but I'm very happy to have him in here. Moving on to our next player, and it's going to be the troublesome Trent Alexander-Arnold. Obviously a great double for Liverpool with Brentford and Luton, but like I said, he's let me down massively over the past few weeks, picking up 6 points with him over I think 5 or 6 weeks I've owned him. absolutely disastrous. In terms of replacements, there's a few things that I am potentially thinking about doing. Obviously, there's the move to Virgil van Dijk. That could always be an option. Straight switch would leave me in the same position though, a blank in 26, and I do need to try and get some more players in there. Other ideas that I have had is to go and get William Saliba, is it? There we go, William Saliba. He's another option that I thought about. Going and getting the double Arsenal defence is a great option. Some really strong fixtures coming up for them. Could be, like I said, with the data that they're putting up, could be a nice little combination. Then some of the other ideas I've had is potentially bringing in Reguilon. A double this week. Again, not a great double, but again, they do play in blank game week 26 and blank game week 29. I think Reguilon is where my head is at the moment. Frees up a lot of money to potentially do some very, very saucy things in that midfield department. Let's move on to the midfield. Obviously, we're going to start off with Garnacho. Luton away. I've been super impressed with his performances. I thought he was great against Aston Villa. Obviously, I benched him for his haul 2 weeks ago. Hopefully, he can return against Luton away, but it's not a very easy place to go, is it, Kenilworth Road? So I'm not too optimistic, but hopefully, like I said, he can come away with something. United's attack is purring at the moment, so hopefully it can continue going forward. Foden and De Bruyne, very happy to have both of these guys, both with the doubles, both cooking in the Champions League in midweek, so very, very happy to have those. Like I said, if I was looking for a City player to probably bring in this week, I think KDB just has that slight upside on getting a mega haul over Phil Foden, but both are definitely capable of doing that. We've seen that over the past few weeks, so both are great options to go and get this week. Moving on to our next midfielder, and it's going to be Cole Palmer. Now, an interesting thing with Cole Palmer is he did actually score against Manchester City in the reverse. He is Chelsea's best player, and as you'll come on to see, I have benched Dominic Solanke for Cole Palmer, and I do think that is still the right decision. He's Chelsea's penalty taker. He's not playing like a 5.5 million. I don't think Chelsea are going to win the game, but I do think Cole Palmer will want some revenge against his old club. All it takes for him is to go and get a penalty, and I think it could potentially be the right decision. Obviously, he's not going to have the Vice armband. I haven't moved that around. There is one other potential move that I might do with Cole Palmer, as you will come on to see. It would be replacing Cole Palmer for Mohamed Salah. That would be the move that we would do there. We would have enough money to go and get Mohamed Salah, and I probably would stick the Vice armband on him. Obviously, been back in Liverpool team training, but we're going to have to wait and see how that kind of all pans out, to be honest, over the next few weeks. I'm not overly keen on the move, to be honest, at the moment. It doesn't look like he's involved in kind of heavier session, like the heavier kind of combative kind of sessions that Liverpool are doing. So I do think we are going to not go for Mohamed Salah. But like I said, they are the early kickoff. So if we do get some early team news, it definitely could be one to consider. Moving on to our final midfielder, and it's going to be Jared Bowen. Obviously being a little bit disappointed in him and West Ham, but like I said with Areola, playing 26 and playing 29. So I think I'm going to hold him up until my game week 30 wildcard. Finishing off our final two forwards, it's going to be Ollie Watkins. I don't know how he didn't score against Manchester United. Had a hatful of opportunities. Villa's fixtures are pretty good over the next few weeks as well. So very happy to hold Ollie Watkins. And then obviously we do have Erling Haaland. We've given him the triple armband, the triple captain armband, sorry. I do think he is the best option for this week. Obviously, if you're looking maybe elsewhere, you don't fancy Haaland or you don't have Haaland in your team, it probably would be one of the other City boys that you would be looking to go and get in your side. Obviously, as well, I don't have any Liverpool players in this lineup. That is a little bit disappointing. As you can see on our bench, we've got Solanke. Maybe I could do the move to Darwin to Solanke. That's always an option with Bournemouth having City next week. Then I could obviously then remove him and bring Dominic Solanke back in. In terms of the bench as well, there isn't too much to write home about. Konza and Taylor. Taylor has been pictured back in training, but Ezri Konza, I'm kind of just hoping with, fingers crossed that he could be back for double game week 29. That was my team selection. If you've got any questions about your team, get them in the comments below. There will be a stream tomorrow, Thursday at 7 o'clock, where me and Jake will be going through our teams as well. So if you do have any questions and want them answering live, come along to that. And like I said, I will also be live at 9 o'clock for the deadline on Saturday morning. But thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck this game week.